Good evening, everyone. This is Robert Jamieson. Welcome to our online chess lesson for Thursday, the 29th of August. Apologies for me missing last week. I had to go up to Sydney for a funeral of Peter Parr, who died unexpectedly. He was my former Olympiad captain. So that was very sad, but thanks for Smari for filling in for me. So I hope you had a good lesson last week. Now, I think I've got you fooled on the puzzle. Let's see who can help me. We'll talk to Daniel maybe. You there, Daniel?
Yes.
How are you tonight?
Good.
You reckon you solved the puzzle?
I'm not sure.
Okay, well let's have a general chat about it to start off with. Now, the first thing to note is this is the rotten bishops of opposite colour ending. So black's bishop controls all the white squares, and white's bishop's controlling all the dark squares. If I can get my right arrow going here, hang on. So it makes it very hard to get a win, because generally you can set up a blockade. White will blockade on the dark, and black won't be able to get through. But the good news for black is white's king is in a bad spot. He'd like to have his king ideally, say, on G1, and then there's no way black would ever get through. But his king's not in front of the pawn. It's a ways away. So, but he is threatening something. So he's threatening to take our pawn on H4, and then the bishop would take the other pawn if it ever gets through to a queen. So Daniel, do you have an idea for black that's going to keep the chances alive? What was your first move?
H3.
Go H3. All right, that looks pretty logical. Okay, so if I'm white, I'm now going to play king H4. So I'm attacking your pawn on H3 again. So what do you want to do now?
G1.
G1. Okay, clever idea. So I can't. I'm threatening to take your pawn. If I was to take the pawn on H3, it'd be a certain draw, and your bishop can't defend the pawn because my pawn would queen on A8. So you've come up with the first idea to give you a chance to win. So you've gone G1 equals queen. All right, and I'm taking it. What do you want to do next?
King G2.
King G2. Okay. This looks like it could be a win for you. What do you think?
Yes.
All right. What do you reckon white's going to reply?
Bishop F2.
Bishop F2. And what are you going to do then?
H1. H2.
Just going to push pawn through to H2 and get a queen and you win. All right. So now you've come up with a good idea, the pawn sacrifice and the king G2, but we also need to come up with good ideas for the defense. Now Joshua's seen a good defense for black, for white. Yes, white can play king G4 and just say, take my bishop, ha ha, I'm going to take your pawn when you do. Okay, so now white's come up with a counter idea. So Daniel, the pressure's on. What can you do?
Bishop C8.
Bishop to A8 or C8? You want to C8 check? All right. I'll go back to H4 to keep an eye on your pawn. You better be careful because I'm about to get a queen on A8.
No.
So you have to go back to B7 again, won't you?
Yeah.
All right. And I'm going back to D4 and I'm saying twice. I've nearly got my triple repetition.
Maybe
So we
Bishop
need that
F3.
second idea.
Maybe Bishop F3.
All right. Bishop F3 check. I see Bridgesh and Joshua and Gil are saying that's a good move. All right. I'll go back to H4. So it's your go. You got any other ideas?
King.
you move your king, I take your pawn. If you move your pawn, I take it. Looks like I've set up a draw, maybe. What do you think?
Maybe.
Let's go back one move. So where were we? We were here. Okay, so now you're struggling a bit. We need everyone to help you. So Daniel can't think of a way for Black to come up with an extra idea that might win the game. Can anyone else help him? Black to play. Does he have any idea here that might give him a chance to win? Or is it just going to be a repetition? Daniel's come up with a good idea. Joey, maybe. He just has come up with an illegal move, King H3. Any further ideas, Daniel?
Maybe the king G1.
King takes G1, but then I take your pawn.
I'm not sure.
He's not sure. All right, we'll see if Daniel Pob can help us. So thank you, Daniel. Daniel Pob, are you there?
Yes.
All right, now what's your clever idea?
Bishop A8.
Bishop A8. All right, how does that help? I'm just going to move my king backwards and forwards on H4.
Now you go bishop F3.
Yes. Do you know what this is called? The special term we have for this? What about Zugzwang? I can't move my king because then I lose the bishop, and I can't move the bishop because then the pawn goes forward. If I could say pass, I'd be okay. So you've solved it, Daniel. Well done. So you have to lose a move with like bishop A8, something like that. Bishop F3, as you said, is a win for Black. Because I'll have to move my king away or move my bishop away. And you're going to win. All right, thanks, Daniel. Well played. Okay, that was good. I think I fooled most of you there. So let's move on to today's game. Now, I don't have a student with me today, so I'll do the normal thing and give some of you a go to help me for a few moves and see if we can get started. Let's try Justin and Julian. Are you there? Justin and Julian, say something? Nope, they're not talking to me. All right. Who can I get who wants to talk to me? Try Joey. You there, Joey?
Yeah, hello.
Hello, how are you tonight?
Good.
Where are you? Are you in New Zealand or Tasmania, or where are you?
Victoria.
Victoria. I hope it's not raining like it's raining here, but good night for chess maybe. All right, so today I'm going to show you a short game played by Laurence Matheson a few years ago. He's one of our better juniors and quite a strong player. And I think the theme of this game probably is how to use a space advantage. All right, so you can help me with the first few moves, and we'll see how we go. Okay, so Laurence starts off, he plays E4. What do you normally play, Joey, against E4?
E5.
E5. Why do you play that?
It's open, and I prefer open games.
Yep, okay. All right, well, a lot of players, particularly juniors, play E4, E5. In this game, Black plays the Sicilian defense, C5. Do you know much about that one? Have you ever played that?
Yep.
What do you think of it?
It's alright.
Okay, what's the idea of the Sicilian? How's it different to E4, E5?
I'm not really sure about that bit.
Okay, well, we call openings either symmetrical, so E4, E5, we call that a symmetrical opening because you're just copying each other, or D4, D5 would be the same. So symmetrical openings, by their mere definition, are more likely to be a drawish sort of a game. Or you can play an asymmetrical opening like the Sicilian, where you do a totally different move for Black as to what White's done, and that generally leads to a more unbalanced, sort of complicated game. Maybe white's attacking on the king side, black's attacking on the queen side, sort of thing. So a lot of the better players, if they want to get a win, they can't settle for a draw, they might play the Sicilian as an asymmetrical opening. Okay, what should white do now, do you think, Joey?
Knight f3.
Yes, knight f3. I used to play Alpen Sicilian. I used to play a funny move. I played c3 a lot, but most people play knight f3. And in this game, black's playing d6, which is a fairly normal move as well. I don't mind knight c6. That's the line I played, but d6 is pretty popular. All right, what should Laurence do now as white?
d4.
Yes, obvious move. So we've got our two pawns side by side, and that's pretty good. Should black take or not take?
Yes, should take.
Yeah, he's pretty much forced to take. Otherwise, we're going to take him and maybe trade queens and then he can't castle. And what's the advantage and the disadvantage of taking, do you think, from black's point of view? So what's the disadvantage of taking?
Not as much control over the centre.
Yes, because white's got a pawn on the 4th rank, whereas black's only got a pawn on the 3rd rank. So this gives white's more space, but the advantage would be what? Any idea?
White has to move a piece twice in the opening.
But our pawns move twice by taking. It's gone to c5 and taken, so we're not really gaining a move or anything. Think about the pawn. So it's a c pawn swapping for a d pawn.
It's getting rid of white's strong centre.
Yeah, what I'm thinking is, in general, because the centre is so important, centre pawns are more valuable than side pawns. So black's swapping a sort of c pawn, which is a bit to the side, for a d pawn, which is right in the middle. So he's ending up with a slightly more valuable pawn. So he's had his pros and he's had his cons. He's lost his space, but he's got rid of white's valuable d pawn. All right, white to play. Obvious move. What's he going to do?
Knight takes d4.
Yep, knight takes d4. And what do you reckon black should do now?
Knight to f6.
All right, why do you like knight f6?
It brings out a piece and it attacks the e4 pawn.
Yes, it's fairly important to attack that pawn. If, for instance, we played, say, a slower move like g6, white may be able to play pawn to c4 before he puts his knight out, and he's like getting a really strong control of the centre. It's called the Maroczy bind after Hungarian Grandmaster Maroczy. So by attacking the e-pawn straight away, we're sort of forcing white to play knight c3, and then he can't get that pawn on c4. All right, so just a little sort of subtlety. Okay, what do you want to do now? We're going okay. We've got two pieces out. We've got a pawn in the centre, a bit more space, so it looks like white's doing all right.
e6 or e5?
E6 or e5. Okay. Is there a disadvantage to e5?
It creates a hole for white's knight on d5.
Yeah, two disadvantages. It gives you the backward pawn on the half-open file, and also, as you said, there's a bit of a hole on d5. There's a square that white can probably put something where it can't be attacked by any black pieces. So e5, probably not. So e6 was your other choice?
Yep.
Yeah, that's probably not too bad. In the game, black decided to play a different move. He plays a6. Now, what do you think of that?
It's alright, stopping knight to b5 or bishop to b5.
It's controlling b5, and what does black probably want to do later on?
b5.
Yeah, he probably wants to play b5 so his bishop can get out to b7 and put it on the nice long diagonal sort of thing. So a6, it's not really a developing move, but it's an okay sort of move. All right, white to play. What are we going to do now? There's probably a few different moves you could choose from.
Bishop E3.
Okay. Why do you choose E3 for the bishop?
It's getting white towards queenside castling. It's getting a piece out. It's got a long diagonal, longish.
Okay. Now, are you worried about black playing knight G4?
No.
What would you do there? He's after your bishop.
Maybe queen to F3.
So you're going to let him take your bishop?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Black's losing a bit of time, but that's a pretty good bishop. All right, possible. In the game,
bishop to G5.
Yeah, white does something different. Bishop G5, that's the more normal move. So then white doesn't have to worry about that knight G4 thing, and he's putting the knight on F6 under a bit of pressure. All right, what do you reckon black should do?
E6.
E6?
Yeah.
Yep. All right. So that looks pretty good. So he's going to move his bishop to E7 and castle and make his king safe. All right. White's go now.
Bishop to D3.
Bishop to D3. All right. Why does your bishop want to go to D3?
Put extra reinforcements on the pawn on E4. Get white.
Now I say move each piece only once and put it on the best square. So the question is D3 a good square for that bishop, or is it just like a big pawn?
Oh no, is F4 better?
Okay, so let's go back. Whoops, hang on. I'm losing control of the mouse here. So we don't want to do bishop D3 now. You want to do F4 instead.
Yeah.
And guess what? Laurence wants to do F4 instead. Yes, so bishop D3 would have been the best spot. Now, why did you like F4? Why did you change your mind?
It's aggressive.
Yep. And?
It's controlling the center.
Yeah, so white's got his 2 pawns side by side. So that gives him a bit of flexibility and a bit of control of the center. You'll notice black's also got 2 pawns side by side, even though they're further back. But he can still think about whether he wants to play D5 or E5 later on, that sort of thing. So both sides have got a bit of a flexible pawn chain. So that's pretty good. All right, thanks, Joey. I'll move on and give someone else a go. Thanks for your help. You did very well there. All right, let's try Joshua. You there, Joshua? Joshua Lip, say something. Not going to talk to me? Okay, all right. We won't try Joshua. Joshua did very well in our RJ Shield tournament on Sunday. See if Derek's there. Derek, are you there?
Yes.
How are you?
Good, thank you.
That's good. All right, you can help me with the next few moves, I'm hoping. So we've just done F4 for white. What should black do now, do you think?
Knight C6. I know, not Knight C6.
Not Knight C6. Well, what are you going to do instead? So at the moment, we've only got 1 piece developed, and white's got 3 pieces, so we're a bit behind on development.
Bishop E7.
Yeah, so I think bishop E7, I mean, because the bishop's got nowhere else to go, and we want a castle, so that would be my choice for the move. Okay, now, what should white do? This is a bit harder. White's probably got a few choices. I'll tell you what, let's get everyone to have a go. White to play. Type in the question, guys, what move you think white should do here. Have you got a move that's appealing to you, Derek?
Yeah, I have E5. Yeah,
e5. I've got Bridges suggesting bishop c4. Joey's suggesting queen f3. You're looking at e5. Maha likes bishop c4. Oliver likes queen e2. Liam likes bishop c4. Callum's going for broke with g4. So you're still liking e5, or you want to change to one of the others? Daniel likes queen f3.
Kind of like queen e2. Oh no, that blocks the bishop.
That blocks the bishop. Nearly there. So we're not queen e2, not e5.
Queen f3.
Yes, queen f3. So why did you choose that one? What's the final decision there for queen f3?
Because it protects the e and f pawn.
Yep, and it's not blocking our bishop. And
it
what else does it let us? What else does it let us do?
It develops a piece.
Yep. You think we might be going to castle queenside?
Yes.
Yes, I think we might be going to castle queenside too. So it looks like white's clearing the way, so we can get in queenside castling. All right, black's go. What do you want to do for black?
Bishop d7. Oh no, castles.
Probably castles isn't too bad. I guess that'll be all right. In the game, he actually goes knight c6. Might be good, might be bad. So he's attacking our knight on d4. What do you want to do about that, Barry?
Knight takes.
Yeah, let's chop him. So we go takes, takes. Now, black has to be a little bit careful here. Because with our queen on f3, we're on this long diagonal, and we might be able to, at some stage, push e5 and threaten c6 or even eventually the rook or something. So black has to be a little bit careful. All right, white's go. What do you want to do?
Bishop d3.
Bishop d3. All right, tell me about bishop d3.
Oh no, I actually want a long castle.
Yeah, bishop d3, we just said that's like a big pawn, unless that e-pawn's getting out of the way. I'd say we're not quite sure of the best square for that bishop yet, but we're pretty certain I think we're going to castle queenside. So let's castle queenside. We always preserve our options like that. Now this is pretty good because our rook's already on the half-open file, so we're putting pressure on this d-pawn, and then further on the queen's down there as well. So that might give white some possibilities. Now, I think black's next move might be a little bit of a blunder, so see if you can help us, guys. What do you reckon black should do here? He's probably got a pretty big choice of moves. So Bridges likes castle. Gil wants to go h6. Nathaniel wants castle. Joey's trying d5. Joshua's going queen c7. Derek's going castle. Callum's going bishop b7. Daniel Hobbs d5. So any of them appeal to you, Derek? Which one do you like?
I like castles.
Okay. And what are you going to do if he plays e5 on you?
e5.
Mm-hmm.
Then probably knight d5.
Yes, that's possible. That's probably not too terrible. I think maybe the best move, let's just have a quick look. I'll just get rid of them. I think maybe even d5 is not too bad. What would you do against that if you were white?
e5.
Okay, you push past? Alright, so you push past. My knight would go to d7. What would you do then?
king b1.
Now careful, because your bishop's on g5's attack.
Bishop takes c7.
Yeah, well then black can recapture with developing move, and even though black's lost his good bishop, he's got that nice pawn on d5, and later on he can probably put the other one on c5, put his bishop on b7. I think he's looking reasonably cool, so probably d5 would be okay. Now the move he actually played, bishop b7, which was only suggested by Callum, I think. I think that might be a little bit of a boo-boo. So what should we do now? So everyone, bishop b7. White has a little bit of a chance here. Gil wants f5. Josh wants e5. Derek wants bishop f6. Nathaniel likes e5. Bridges likes bishop takes f6. Any of them appealing to you, Derek?
Maybe e5 straight away.
You want to do e5?
No, then the bishop gets back again.
Okay, so what do you want to do?
Bishop takes f6.
Bishop takes f6. All right. Let me see. Possibly the best move might well be e5. Let's have a quick look. So e5. Now the idea is the knight would then have to go to d5. Let's say we take the bishop. He takes with the queen. Now what would be a good move for white now?
Pawn takes d6.
There might be an even better move, maybe. Think about the dark squares. Think about your knight.
Knight a4.
No. What I'm thinking of is knight e4. So that's got a double attack on the d6 pawn. So he'd have to chop on e5. And now have a look what's happened. So next move, white's knight will be able to get on this fantastic outpost on d6, attacking the bishop. I know when I was at university, we always used to say a knight on the 6th is like a nail in the knee, because it was such a good spot for the knight. Now black's got a pretty good knight as well, but when we feel like it, we can drive it away with our pawn. So positionally, this sort of line probably wouldn't be too bad. All right, but that wasn't what Laurence did. He did your suggestion. He took the knight. All right, now big question for everyone. We can take back with the bishop or the pawn. Which do you want to take back with? So type on the questions which you prefer. You want to take back with the bishop or take back with the pawn? So Joshua's going pawn, Maha's bishop, Liam's bishop, Gil's bishop, Derek's bishop, Brijesh pawn. So far bishop's winning. Gil's bishop. What do you reckon, Derek? Bishop or pawn?
Well, if you take with the pawn, then you can't really castle him.
Yep.
Because your king would be eerie.
So you go for the bishop?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh no,
all right.
but then you play e5.
Then you might play e5. Does that worry you?
Yeah.
All right. So you've changed your mind. You're going for a pawn.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. All right. I think you're probably right. All right. I'll give someone else a go. So thanks for your help, Derek. Let's go back and see. Where is he? See if Joshua's still talking to me. Joshua, can you speak now or not? Hello, Joshua. Nope. Pity. I wanted to have a nice chat to Joshua. All right, we'll try Arthur. You there, Arthur? Arthur, say something. Nope, no Arthur. All right. Callum, you there, Callum? Everyone's gone quiet on me. Not having much luck. We'll try Jason. Jason, are you there?
Yes.
Hello. Don't know why the others aren't talking to me. You're coming through loud and clear. So did you choose the bishop or the pawn? What do you think?
Bishop.
The bishop, okay. All right, I think most people chose the bishop. Probably the best one would be the pawn. Now, a lot of juniors are worried then that they've got double pawns. They're saying, oh dear, look, I've got terrible double pawns. And maybe I can't even castle kingside. What can I do? It's all terrible. But in a position like this, black's king's probably quite happy to stay in the middle. And he's got this lovely huge wall of pawns in front of his king, like a really strong castle wall protecting his king. Well, I think that'll be fairly safe. So pawn is probably the best one. But in the game, black took with the bishop. All right. Now white's got a good move here, Jason. What can white do? Can you see a good attacking move utilising the rook at pinning the D pawn? You all seen it? Bridgesh has seen it? No idea?
No.
All right, it's pawn to E5. See, so now we're attacking the bishop, and we've also got a double attack on the D pawn with the rook and the pawn. So black, poor old black says, oh dear, I've blundered. I've got to put my bishop back. And now white just takes the pawn on D6. So can black take that pawn back now? What would happen? If black took the pawn back now?
I didn't take the pawn back.
If he took the pawn back, white could play his knight into E4 and he'd be winning that bishop.
Yeah.
So that would be pretty yucky. All right, thanks for your help, Jason. I'll move on to someone else. Let's see if Maha's there. You there, Maha? Talk to me. No, I'm only getting an echo. All right. We're not having much luck tonight. Try Sam. You there, Sam?
Yes.
All right, excellent. Don't know why all these people aren't speaking on their microphone. All right, so black's just lost a pawn on D6. So what's he going to do with his bishop?
I think it's best for him to move his bishop to F5 or F6, sorry.
Yep, all right, it's got to go to F6. All right, now white's go. What should white do? He's one of three.
White should probably bring his bishop out to C4.
All right, we could develop the bishop. That might be okay. Is there another strong move?
You play knight E4.
Yes. So knight E4. So putting the knight in the center of the board, maybe wanting to swap off the bishop if he feels like it, and protecting that pawn. So that's the move Laurence chose. Now black said, okay, I'm just going to get out of here and castle. I'm a pawn down, but big deal. All right, now this is the key situation again. White to play. Let's get everyone to help us. Suggest some moves for white. What do you reckon white should do here? Is it a solid pawn up for nothing? So Jill wants D7, Joey wants knight C5, Sam wants to take on F6, Nathaniel likes G4, Callum wants queen D3. Gosh, there's moves everywhere. What move are you preferring, Sam? What do you like?
I either like knight takes F6 or knight C5.
Okay. I would probably normally play knight c5, but I'm a bit worried he might play queen b6 with a double attack on b2 and the knight, and then my knight might have to run away. So I'll probably change my mind, not go knight c5. All right. Now remember, both players have castled on opposite sides of the board. So what do we normally do in an opposite side castling sort of game?
You sometimes try to attack if there's not many defenders.
Yeah, you generally have a big attack. He attacks you on your side, and you attack him on his side. So if White's thinking attacking, what move would be a good way to get the attack started?
You could take on f6 and then push to d7, but then it just...
But he's got that covered, and take on f6 he's recapturing with developing move. So we want to push him back and open up his king's defences somehow. Gil's got the right idea. Nathaniel's got the right idea.
You could play bishop d3.
Bishop d3 maybe. All right, the move they want is g4. That's what Laurence played. So he wants to get his pawns rolling. He wants to go up to g5 and chase that bishop away. In fact, g5 would be winning the bishop probably. So that's got a threat. So White's going to throw his pawns at Black because White has more space. So you have a look at the position. White's got all this sort of space. That's his on the king side. Or Black's sitting there on his 3 ranks with not much to do. All right, so Black's got to find a way to save his bishop. So he goes g6. All right, what do you want to do now? Sam, what would be good?
Now you could play g5 or you...
Yep, we could do that and chase him back. Any other idea?
You could go bishop c4, bishop d3.
Yep, now the general principle of attacking is we want to get more pieces into the attack and we want to sort of open up his king. So can you think of a plan to maybe get some more of our pieces, because he's got that pawn chain blocking our attack. How can we break down that pawn chain and get more pieces in?
We can swap off pawns and then get development.
How do we swap off pawns? Gil's got the right idea again. Joey's got the right idea.
You can maybe play h4 to bring...
Yes, h4. All right. Now, let's be careful. If he was to take that, does he win a pawn or would that be a blunder?
That's a blunder.
Because?
Because then you can play queen h4 and then you can get into the black squares.
Yeah, we could play queen h3 and he's in trouble. We could even play g5 threatening queen g4 or something. Yeah, bishop takes h4 would be horrible. So he says, all right, I'm going to run away with my bishop. Okay, so we've now got our lovely 3 pawns all in a line. What are we going to do?
Probably h5 and then we can pin the...
That's right. So now, without moving our rook is now becoming one of the main attackers because we're trying to open up the H file. So it's looking pretty good for us. Now, has Black got any counterplay? Is there anything Black can do?
He could maybe try to...
He's got a strong bishop.
He could go queen b6.
Yeah, he could go queen b6 with a double attack on b2, but we can defend that easily. And apart from that, I mean, his bishop on b7, that's just like a big pawn. It's a waste of a bishop. And look at his rooks. They're not in the game either. They're still on the back rank. So he's really struggling to get any sort of counterplay we have to worry about. So in fact he does go, let's have a look, he does go queen b6, so now he's threatening b2. Alright, we'll just go c3 to block the diagonal. Alright, now let's put our thinking caps on, let's say we're Black. So we haven't got much counterplay. White's just going to gang up on the H file and open that up and mate us. What could we do? Type on the questions, guys. We need some help. And Sam, put your thinking cap on. Can black do anything to try and get some play? Callum suggesting f5, Jill's suggesting h6, Joey's suggesting c5. Sam likes h6, Nathaniel likes rook b8, Bridges likes f5. What do you reckon, Sam? Any of them sound good to you?
Probably h6 to keep the pawns from coming in and destroying.
Okay.
But then I guess you could still play g5 and then close.
Yeah, and the pawns are still coming at you and we're going to swap and open up. All right. Any other idea? c5, f5, rook b8.
You could probably play rook b8 or maybe c5, yeah. c5, okay. And then maybe you could play c5 and then f5.
Okay, c5 may be a possible idea.
f5 is probably...
let's see, what's mine? You could just put a rook on d8 and sort of sit there and hope for the best, but black says, all right, I want to try and mess it up a bit because I'm just losing. So he goes for f5. So he's trying to get his rook on f8 into the game, but he's opening up his king a bit. All right, let's put our thinking caps on because we can open up lines to his king now. White to play, what do you guys want to do? Type on the question. So Gil's going h6, Joey's going knight g5. Now Gil's taking on g6 instead. Josh likes knight g5. Sam wants to take the g. Arthur wants to take on f5. Bridgesh wants queen h3. There's a few moves there. Sam, any of them appealing to you?
I would probably take on g6.
Okay, and if he takes your knight, what have you got?
I can then bring my queen across to the to h3, and then.
Well, let's have a look. So you want to take. He might take your knight. You want to go to h3, and if he takes your pawn, what have you got?
Oh yeah, just then you could play.
His king can run away to f7. Yeah. So it looks like that sacrifice wouldn't quite work. All right. Any other idea?
I know that if I move my knight, they'd just play c5 and get a change, but that's not very relevant.
All right. Now remember, actually Laurence came up with an interesting move here. Remember, one of the ideas of attacking is to bring more pieces into the attack and try and overwhelm the opponent. So we've got a queen, a knight and a rook attacking.
You could play bishop c4?
Yes. All right, so this is a bit daring. We play bishop c4. So we're hitting his pawn on e6 and we want to drive his king into the corner. But we could be dropping a knight on e4. All right, so let's see what happens. So black goes, takes the knight. All right. So we've lost a piece, so this better be a good attack or we're a piece down. What do you want to do? Our queen's attacked. What do you think, Sam? Sam's not there. I think Sam's gone offline. All right, I shall move on to someone else then. Let's try Thomas. You there, Thomas?
Yes.
Can you help me finish black off?
I can try.
All right, so we've just sacrificed a piece and he's taken an e4. So we need some way to get our pieces at his king and finish him off. So what move do you reckon we should do here?
You could try bishop e6.
Yeah, I think bishop e6 is the obvious one. So that's a pawn, it's check, it forces him into the corner pretty much. All right, so we've got a pawn for it, but our queen's still attacked. What can we do now?
Pawn takes g6.
Very good. We don't have to move our queen. We can take on g6, because if he takes our queen, our rook's going to hoon up to h7 with a checkmate. So that was well spotted. All right, so black says, okay, I better get out of that with h6. So he's getting a blockade on the black squares, a bit like the ending we just had, where we're controlling the white squares and he's trying to set up a defence on the black squares. Okay, we've got a lot of pawns. We're a piece down. What do you want to do?
Yeah, maybe take the pawn on e4.
Take the pawn on e4. Yep, all right, that can't be bad. So what have we got? 3, 6. We've got 4 pawns for a piece. Not bad, and we've still got heaps of space. And if you have a look at where the pieces are, black's got his rook, his bishop, and his queen on the queen side. We're attacking on the king side. So poor old black's only got a couple of defenders over there, and we've got 3 or 4 attackers plus all those pawns. So you'd think there must be some way for us to get a win. All right, so let's get everyone's thinking cap on. So white to play. What can white do to try and get his attack home?
g5.
Gilla's liking g5. Bridges is liking g5. Benji's liking g5. Oh, hang on, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Daniel's come up with a good point. It's actually black's move. I've missed black's move. All right, so white's just taken on e4, sorry. Black plays c5. All right, so correction. So black is now attacking our queen, so things are even more desperate. All right, white to play. Start again. Our queen's attacked. We're trying to attack his king. Arthur's going g5. Jill wants to drop the queen back to d3.
Yeah, queen d3 is probably.
Queen d3.
Or even queen c2.
Now hang on, d3. Our f pawn's on pre. His rook could take the f pawn. So Callum says queen e5. I got bishop takes queen. Might be a problem. He just wants queen b7, which looks pretty silly because I just take it. Benji wants queen e3. What do you think, Thomas? What move's appealing to you?
I don't think g4 would work.
g5, you mean? Remember our queen's attacked?
Yeah,
our queen's attacked.
Probably
right.
queen d3.
Queen d3. All right, now, in these tactical positions, what do I ask people to ask themselves? What's the question you should be saying to yourself, or what should you be looking at?
What is he going to reply?
That's after you've decided on your move.
Yeah.
But now you're trying to find a good move
What's
for
he
you.
attacking?
Yeah, he's attacking your queen. So now I want you to look at all. You know that one? Look at checks and captures. Right. So he's attacking our queen. So let's forget that for a moment. Let's look at all checks and captures. See if we can come up with something good. Like Bridges looked at queen b7. Could be good, but seems to lose a queen. So does that give you any ideas? Look at all checks and captures. Run me through that.
Rook captures h6.
Would that be good? Don't I just take it with the bishop?
Yeah, I'm not really fully on over it.
Is that the end of it, or is there something else to look at?
Probably, I think that's the end of it.
I think that's the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You've just fallen for the common trap that most of my students fall for. They stop analysing too early. They say, oh, that loses something or other. I'm not going to do that. Whereas if they look one move deeper, they might find something really spectacular. And a lot of you guys, let me see. So we've got Nathaniel and Gil and Joey and Josh have all found it. And the winning move is the spectacular move, rook h6 check. Now he's got to take. Oh, in fact he resigned, but he's got to take. Now let's not stop here. So Thomas, what would be white's next move? Remember, look at all checks and captures. Can you see a good check for white?
Yep. Queen E5.
All right, Queen E5 check, so we don't want to stop just yet. So now that forces his bishop to drop back. What can we do now?
Queen H5.
Yes, there we go. Bishop H6, take. So it was forced checkmate. Excellent. All right, well done. So you can see that's the advantage of following that little saying about looking at all checks and captures, even if it looks silly. And don't stop too early. Maybe look 1 or 2 moves deeper and you might find something really spectacular like that. So I think that was a nice little game. It demonstrated how you get a space advantage, and when you castle opposite sides you just throw your pawns at him, try and open up his king even with a sacrifice, and the first one home is the winner. In this particular game black didn't have much counterplay, so it was a pretty easy win for white. All right, so thank you very much, Thomas, and the others who helped me today. That's the end of the lesson for today, and I look forward to catching you all next week. For those of you who are in Melbourne or even elsewhere, we have a tournament on the Best in the West over the weekend in Altona, and they'll be having live games on the internet. So if you want to follow some live chess, some of the Chess Kids students will be playing. Search out Best in the West live games, and I'm sure you'll enjoy watching the chess on the weekend. Otherwise, I'll catch you all next Thursday. So thank you very much and good night.